How to take one listing every single week working expireds. That's exactly what we are going to talk about today, and I'm going to make this video as short as possible because it is literally a very simple process that anyone anywhere can apply and generate a minimum of an average of one new listing every single week by just working this lead generation system. So before we get into the steps, I just want to say that this conversation, this video was inspired by one of my clients that I was speaking with today in our Listings on Demand group coaching program. And she was like, for every 19 people I speak to, I set one appointment. And for every 2 appointments I go on, so we're talking about 38 contacts. For every 38 contacts she makes, she takes one listing. Obviously, these are not typical results, and it's someone has been training with me for well over a year to get to this level. But just goes to know what is possible for the right person with the right attitude and the right reasons of wanting to grow, what would be possible for them. Because this is a person that's never ever picked up the phone before to make phone calls, and now is telling me for every 19 people I speak to, I set an appointment. So think of it that way. If you knew your numbers as such, you could reverse engineer just about any result that you want. So what is it that you need to get yourself to a place to where you too can take one listing every single week by just working expireds? Very simple. Number one, you need the data. Just gathering the information from the multiple listing service is going to be a waste of time for 9 out of 10 people, because you're not going to get the right data, you're not going to get the right phone numbers, you're not going to get a hold of people, and you're missing out on a lot of opportunities. Now, the one that I would recommend that you align yourself with is Vulcan 7, and I am going to put a link in the description for you. If you use my affiliate link, you will get additional discounts and bonuses. Best place to get your expired data from. The second thing you need, watch this. Look how simple. All you need is a phone. Everybody that's watching this video, you're probably watching this on your phone. This right here can turn into an ATM machine. The third thing that you need is a reason. What's your reason for wanting to take one extra listing every single week? If you don't have the reason, if you don't have the why, you don't have that desire, then you're going to have all the excuses of why you should not pick up the phone. So what I want you to do is I want you to answer this question. What will taking an extra listing every single week do for me personally and professionally? What will it do for me? Like, let your mind go. Like, an extra listing every single week, that we're talking about 50 listings a year. You probably sell like 45 to 50 of those. For some of you guys, we're talking about an additional $250,000 to $500,000 in income. How will that change your life? For some of you, it's also a number that you cannot fathom. Therefore, you just don't want to take an extra listing every single week. Maybe you just want to take an extra listing every other week or an extra listing every single month. You decide. But the most important ingredient, besides the data and the phone, is going to be a reason, a compelling reason that's going to cause you to make the commitment to put yourself out there in a bigger way and tackle new opportunities every single day. The fourth thing that you need, and this is a big one. So now you got the data, you got the phone, you're clear on your why, you're clear on your vision and all the reasons why you want to do this. The next thing that you need is skills. So words of caution. Don't be the person that says, when I get the skills, I'll take the action. Because I'm telling you right now, there's been a lot of people that I coached, and the first thing I said is like, hey, pick up the phone and make the phone call right now. Don't wait till you memorize the script. I can think of 2 people that on their first contact, first time ever picking up the phone and making a phone call, set an appointment. They never thought of this activity the same again. And they're like, oh, I was making it out to be like it is a monster activity, when in reality, it was a friendly conversation that they had and were able to set an appointment. So specifically, you need appointment setting skills. So a good place to begin would be in the description below. I'm going to put a link for you where I'm going to give you the same exact script. And below that, I'm going to link another video that I want you to watch. Maybe we'll link it right here, that walks you through the same exact script so you know what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. So in the beginning, I mean, you're not doing a Zoom call. You're not in front of these people. They don't know that you're reading a script. So don't wait to memorize the script. All you got to do is get the data, get the phone, put that appointment setting script in front of you and start making the phone calls. But here's the key. As you are making the phone calls, I want you to track and document your journey, okay? At the end of every single conversation, if they do not set an appointment with you, I want you to just say, hey, what was the objection that they gave me that stopped me from having the opportunity to set this appointment? And you are going to write it down, okay? And you're gonna make a list. So basically the conversation is giving you the feedback that you need to identify that which you need to learn in order for you to legitimately set an appointment. And then what you do is you learn how to overcome these objections, and then things just naturally get better for you. The next skill set that you are going to need is going to be a killer listing presentation. Now, in my very strong opinion, the listing presentation is going to be more important for you to work on and develop than your appointment setting skills. Because in essence, when you know you are very confident in the way that you deliver your listing presentation, you're naturally going to become more courageous to pick up the phone and make an extra contact and have an extra conversation and ask an extra question and close more for the appointment because you know you can back it up. The worst thing to do is to get good at appointment setting and have very poor selling skills. Just like the woman that I mentioned that I was talking to earlier, I mean, it's still boggling in my mind, which is very good results. Hey, 2 appointments, 1 listing. Okay, so if we do the math on that, it's 10 appointments, 5 listings. So now what we've identified is that if we get better at our listing presentation, then we could take more listings with the same amount of contacts. Most of the people that I work with get to the point to where they're listing 8 out of 10 appointments that they go on. So developing a listing presentation is key. If you need help developing that listing presentation, then what I want you to do is I want you to go in the description below and check out a link that says set up a strategy session with Chadi. You and I will get on the phone and we'll hash out the conversation on how to perfect your listing presentation so you could list more properties. So it's at appointment setting skills, identifying the objections that you need, and developing a very strong listing presentation. Now, in the beginning, it's a given. You're not going to convert the majority of the appointments that you go on. And it's not the end of the road. It's not the end of the game. Some people that you are going to be meeting with are going to be a 2 or 3 step listing presentation, meaning you need point number 5, which is great follow-up skills. So what is it that you are going to do to follow up with these leads so you could go back into their home and take the listing? What I would suggest is that you call them immediately after the appointment and thank them for the opportunity they've given you. You call them the next day to find out if they thought of any questions or anything that they wanted to share with you that they didn't share with you. And you know, you guys can hash that out and you'll be surprised. Sometimes you call them back the next morning and they were like, yeah, we wanted to ask you a question and we forgot to ask you that question. Here's the question. And you answer the question. They were like, okay, well, can you send us over the paperwork and you'll take the listing that way. So lead follow-up. I mean, the gold is in the lead follow-up. You've already spent time trying to get the appointment. You spent time preparing for the appointment. You spent time going on the appointment. You didn't get the listing. If you don't do the lead follow-up, it's the end of the game. Doing lead follow-up, you'll convert a good portion of these opportunities that you went on to present. So great follow-up skills, and I'm going to give you a couple of advanced tips. 2 advanced tips. Number 1, if you have the capability, which if you sign up for Vulcan 7, you will have the capability to record these conversations that you're having with the people. So I want you to go back and listen to these conversations. You don't have to listen to all of them. And if somebody says, hey, we already relisted, you don't need to go back to listen to that one. It's just the ones that you got very close to setting an appointment and you couldn't set an appointment with. What I want you to do is 2 things. Number 1, I want you to go back and listen to it and try to identify, hey, what did I do right on that call? Try to identify what was it that I was supposed to do that I did not do that I should do more on the next contact. Try to identify, what is it that I did that I shouldn't do? Okay, so give yourself some coaching, create that awareness, like be obsessed with getting better with every single contact that you are making. So that's advanced step number one. Advanced step number two is keep track of the numbers. Very simple. Keep track of the numbers. What numbers should you keep track of? Number one, how many contacts did you make? Okay. Number two, how many appointments did you set? And number three, how many listings did you take? We're going to keep it very simple. I mean, we can go very extensive and very detailed with the numbers tracking, but we're not going to do it here for simplicity reasons. How many people did I speak to? How many appointments did I set? And how many listings did I take? Within 30 days, you could reverse engineer these numbers and you'll be like, okay, well, in the last month, I made that many contacts, I set that many appointments. You divide the two numbers into each other, and that lets you know how many people you need to speak to in order for you to take a listing. Now, in the beginning, if this is a brand new activity for you, unless you hit the jackpot, which you may hit the jackpot, we don't know, you got to make the calls to find out. In the beginning, hey, it might take 100 contacts for you to set your first appointment. Okay, so then it's 100 contacts to an appointment. But here's what happens. The more that you engage yourself in this activity, and if you're doing exactly what I told you to do, better work on your skills every single day and use the script that I'm providing you with, and recording the calls and going back and coaching yourself on it and getting better at the objections, then hey, your next set of 100 contacts, you might set 2 appointments. So now it totally changes your averages from 1 appointment per 100 to like literally 66 contacts to an appointment all of a sudden, and the numbers get better. So what you want to be mindful of is every single month, okay, increasing your effectiveness and your efficiencies by about 5 to 10%. 5 to 10%. And if you're really obsessed with learning how to speak to these people in a very, very, very effective way, you too can get to the point to where it's 19 contacts to an appointment, just like Edith from our Listings on Demand training. So go ahead, download the script, click the link to watch the other video that shows you how to use the script, and get started. And let me know how it's working out for you. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.